Today I'll show you the Pro Makeup Map for beginners. Most of the time, the products are just sitting in the wrong places. So this is the map I use as a professional makeup artist to make makeup look natural, polished, and easy to wear. And look at this, same face, similar products. But one side looks heavy and uneven, and the other side looks soft, lifted, and natural. The difference is the map. And I'll show you the common beginner mistakes so you can see why makeup can look heavy, messy, or uneven. Makeup mapping means one simple thing. We are not applying products everywhere. We are placing each product only where it has a purpose. Let's begin with foundation. The most common beginner mistake is applying foundation everywhere and also directly onto the face. When you apply foundation straight onto the skin, it's hard to control how much product you use, and it can even look good on camera for a short time. But after 30 minutes, it may start to crack. Even if you try to fix it with a sponge, look how much product the sponge takes away. This is not only wasting foundation, this is wasting money, and the Pro Map is different. I like to pump the foundation onto the back of my hand first, then I warm it up with my finger. This helps the product melt into the skin and blend much easier. Don't cover the whole face as you used to do it. First, look at your face. Where do you really need coverage? Usually it's the center of the face. Redness around the nose, redness on the cheeks. Then blend the foundation with the soft tapping motions. But notice this, the brush is almost empty now, and there is almost no foundation left on it. And I'm not adding more product. I am only softening the edges. This is the key. Not a heavy layer of foundation everywhere. Do not overload the skin. Look at the difference. Even small lines and texture looks more visible, right? And look around the nose. There is too much product here, and as soon as I smile, it starts to crease. You can also see marks from the fingers. Next, color correction. If the darkness looks more purple, use a soft yellow or peach tone. If it looks more blue, use a little peach or orange tone. But be careful, if you apply very light concealer directly on blue darkness, the area can look gray, ashy, or even light blue. The beginner mistake is using too much peach or orange corrector, and also spreading it too far under the eye. Another mistake is using a dirty brush with old product on it. Old product can mix with the new product and make everything look muddy, also it's unhygienic. Also, try not to stretch your face too much while you apply under eye makeup. Do not open your mouth too wide, do not pull the skin. On the beginner side, I'm applying too much corrector and I'm spreading too far. Look how it sits on top of the skin. Now I created too much warmth. So I need more concealer to cover it, and now we have too many layers. This is right after application and after just a few blinks. Now let's do the Pro Map. Apply tiny amount only where the darkness is strongest. Usually this is the inner corner or the deepest hollow. And use a very light layer. Then give it a moment to settle, and after that apply concealer. The corrector should disappear under concealer. I recommend to remember this placement. Point 1, the inner corner or the darkest hollow. And point 2, the outer corner placed slightly upward. That's it. Concealer is not a big triangle anymore, and concealer is targeted light. Do not create a large, pale triangle under the eye. Do not apply too much concealer close to the lower lashes, and do not drag concealer too low down the face. When concealer goes too low, the face can look heavier, the cheek can look lower, and the under eye area can look more textured. But when concealer stays close to the darkness and lifts the outer corner, the face looks fresher. I'm using the clean side of the same brush. I blend mostly with the tapping motions and only a little bit of soft sweeping. So the first point is focused on the inner corner. This brings light to the eye and just makes the eye look more open. And the second point is blended softly toward the outer corner, and this gives a small lift. I also like to just use a matte concealer as an eye base. It's simple and actually it's very fast. And it can even out the lid before eyeshadow, and on my eyes it doesn't crease. I love it. Next, powder map. The beginner mistake is powdering the whole face, but we don't need an extra layer everywhere. If you powder the whole cheek, you remove the natural glow from the high point of the face, and the skin can look flat, dry, and less alive. So, natural skin isn't shiny everywhere. But it's also not matte everywhere. It has controlled glow. You can gently roll a clean brush handle just under the eye area, and this helps remove extra layers before they settle into fine lines. And then take a small amount of powder with a brush, and not too much, and press it only where makeup moves. Under the eyes, around the nose, the center of the forehead, smile lines, the chin, and any area where your makeup usually breaks down. So look at the difference. On the heavy side, the under eye area looks more tired because there are too many layers. On the mapped side, the skin still looks like skin. It's set, but not dry. It's soft, but not flat. And that's the powder map. Now let's move on to the cheeks. Cheek map, blush, and bronzer. The blush color may not match the undertone. The texture may be too powdery for bare skin. The brush may be too big for your features. The blush may be too close to the nose or maybe too low on the cheek. And bronzer can turn into a dark strip under the cheekbone. All of this can make the face look heavier. For the pro side, I like a soft cream formula. Something easy to blend, something that melts into the skin. Blush should sit high on the cheek and blend it outward and slightly upward, not as a harsh line, and the center of the face should stay clean. And blush changes the direction of the face completely. This is the lift line. Imagine a soft line from the corner of your mouth to the top of the ear. And most of the blush should stay above this line, not below it, and we are lifting the face, bronzer and contour. I use a brush with only a small amount of product. Find the middle of your ear. Now imagine a line from that point toward the corner of your mouth. And this line is your guide. The lowest part of your blending should stay around this line. And this is just close to your natural shadow. For the first few times, you can use this handle of the brush as a guide, but later you will remember the direction without it and it will save you time. I also apply a little product along the hairline and the jawline. This makes the face look more sharpened. But the key is to connect everything softly. The cheekbone, temple, and jawline, just they all together should not just look like three separate lines. They should look like natural shadow on one face, soft, smooth, connected, and more harmonious. One more thing about blush. So do not swirl your brush strongly on the cheek. This can place too much product in one spot. And do not start too close to the center of the face. If you apply too much blush, do not swipe it away with your hand. Take a foundation brush or a sponge and tap over the blush. This will just soften the color without ruining the base. Now, let's talk about hooded eyes. For hooded eyes, do not rush into dark eyeshadows and do not place everything only on the mobile lid. If you apply shadows while looking down, then open your eyes, most of the shadow may disappear. It hides under the hooded part of the eye, so the most important rule is this. Design the eye while looking straight ahead. The beginner mistake are shadow only on the mobile lid, and thick liner across the whole lash line, and too much darkness that just makes the eye look smaller. If your shadow disappears when your eyes are open, it's not your fault. You placed it on the part of the lid that folds, and that's it. For hooded eyes, the map is slightly higher. First, even out the lid with a concealer if needed, and then set it with a little powder or a light matte eyeshadows. Now, choose the right brush size. Yeah, I know, it's hard part, so do not use a brush that is too big for your eye shape. This brush is too large for me, see? A simple way to check it, just to hold the brush near the hooded area. If it covers too much space, it's too big. Now, take your eyeshadow, Don't load too much product onto the brush and don't tap off of the extra product. I recommend press the brush onto the back of your hand. Just the color should be inside the brush, not on the floor, and not sitting too heavy on top of the brush. So also, do not raise your eyebrows while you create the shape. So relax your face, look straight ahead, and place the soft shape slightly above your natural crease. Hold the brush more straight to the skin, build the shape slowly. For the outer corner, follow the direction of your lower lash line. This helps lift the eye and apply shadow on the outer third of the eye, then blend it softly upward and outward. Keep the inner corner light, and you can make the outer corner deeper if you want more shape or if you want more depth. Depends on your mood. And use a dark matte shadow on the outer corner. Blend it well. Don't leave empty gaps of the skin here. I know this is difficult, so feel the shape softly. You can close your eyes, you can raise your eyebrows, up to you. Once the main lifted shape is ready, you can add more detail inside the new shape. For hooded eyes, keep eyeliner small and thin. Apply a small line, then just pull it outward with a sharp angled brush. Look at the close-up. The liner should not take away the mobile lid space. Do not apply a thick line across the whole lash line. It can make the eye look smaller and heavier. It can separate the hooded part and the mobile lid, and the eye can look just more closed. For mascara, focus the lashes upward and outward. Choose the wand that feels easy for you. I think that a big wand gives more volume, but if your eyes are small or hooded, it can smudge more easily. A small wand gives just more control. It gives separation and length. And I also love a small wand for the lower lashes. And when you apply mascara, do not always just look straight into the mirror. If the wand touches your skin, turn your head a little and keep looking into the mirror, but change the angle. This gives you more space between the wand and the skin. And now look at the difference. The eye looks more open, more lifted, and much cleaner. Now the last map, lips. It should create soft shape. The beginner mistakes are overlining too much, making a hard border, using a liner that is too dark, and changing the lip shape too much. This can make the lips look artificial. The Pro Map is softener, slightly overlining only the center if you need it. Keep the corners closer to the natural lip line. Blur the liner inward and correct small uneven parts with the tiny changes. Not with a completely new shape. Just lip liner is not a wall around the lips. It's a shadow, and I really love a blurred lip. It looks beautiful in real life. Now I'm adding a soft berry color. This kind of shade can make many eye colors pop. Green eyes, blue eyes, gray eyes, brown eyes, and hazel eyes. I tap the color in. I do not swipe it from side to side. Just tap, tap, tap. This gives a soft gradient, a true blurred lip. And do not apply it like a classic lipstick unless you want a bold lip look. Now check the corners. There shouldn't be an empty gap, but the liner shouldn't go too far outside the natural corner as well. And look at the close-up of the overlined side. From far away, it may look okay, but close-up, it's too obvious. So the mapped side looks softer, cleaner, and more natural. Now let's add a light beige pencil to the waterline. This step is optional. If your eyes are sensitive, just skip it. That's why I like to do this at the very end and compare it with a dark waterline. The difference is huge. A dark pencil inside the eye can make the eye look smaller. A beige pencil can make the eye look more open and fresh. And you can also use this pencil for small cleanup details. For example, to sharpen the lip corners or to make the eyeliner look cleaner. Small details can change the whole makeup. And now look at the final result. This is the same face, similar products, but one side was applied by guessing and the other side was applied with a map. The difference isn't more makeup, the difference is better placement. And if you are a beginner, do not try to do more. Try to place less product more intentionally. That is what makes makeup look natural, lifted, polished, and clean. And this is the Pro Makeup Map for beginners. Same products, better placement, completely different makeup. And tell me in the comments which map changed the face the most for you: skin, blush, eyes, or lips. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye!